I am your mother, your earth, and I am still being plagued by a disease that is taking away my children. You see, it all began in the 80s. And while many of my children were getting sick, one group in particular was being disproportionately affected. You see, my white gay men were leaving me. They would be sick one week and dead the next. And what grieved the heart of this mother is no one was fighting for them. No one. Not even the president at the time would say the name of this disease. But trust me, some of us said his. Now, I know the gifts and the talents and the skills that I have imparted to my children. I wanted them to help address this issue. But you know, why is it that children don't always do sometimes what they are requested to do? And since they have free will, I waited and waited and waited while they slept and slept and slept. And more of my children died and died and died. But then one day, a precious few woke up, and dare I say, some of them kind of acted up. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And they decided to address this disease and help some of my children live longer. Hey, and we saw change. Oh yes. We saw change in treatment. We saw change in attitude. We even saw change in life experience. I guess you can say we saw change we could believe in. Oh, it was all right. But then came a change that we did not anticipate. You see, while this disease, this scourge began to change, and while my white gay men started to live, my black and brown children were dying. I thought we had been here before. So while one thrived, the other died. White living, black and brown dying. Now, do you think that's fair? I'm sorry. Can I hear? I said, do you think that's fair for my children to die while others thrive? Listen, if things stay the same, if things don't change, 1 in 2 black men, I'm not talking about gay men, I'm just talking about brothers. 1 in 2 black men who have sex with men will get this disease. 1 in 2. 1 in 4 brown men who have sex with men will get this disease. 1 in 2. 1 in 4. Now let's compare that to 1 in 11 white men who have sex with men will get this disease. Now y'all did hear me say that I'm your mother, right? Anybody here like to have sex? I want to give a cookie to the one who told the truth. I like to have sex, right? But must we get sick with a preventable and currently incurable disease just because we twerk? It is time for us to end this disease. It is time for us to wake up, step up, and shake the consciousness of, dare I say, the privileged patriarchy that can help us get to zero before even one more of my beloved dies. Even one more. But you know why I'm smiling, y'all? Because we can do this. We literally have everything we need to get to zero LHiV transmissions. We have an entire team. We have friends and allies who can stand with us. Tonight you're going to hear from Voice of Support. She's going to share with you her journey and why she is so sold out to our getting to zero. And we have another team member. We got some condoms in the mix, y'all. You know, let me tell you something. We got some chocolate condoms. We got rib condoms. We got glowing. I'm telling too much. That's my personal business. I'm just saying, we got condoms. And tonight, Rubber Lover is going to take you in to what her experiences have been to help us get to zero. Now, we also have research that is looking at alternatives and medicines to help us deal with this disease so it is no longer incurable. One of the most popular is PrEP. And tonight, Preppy is going to take us somewhere so we can figure out, well, maybe that's my place to help us get to zero. Now, I want y'all to turn around and look at each other. Look at each other. Yeah, look from side to side, look to the back, look to the back. Do y'all see different people in here? Well, we also have trials and programs that look at our own individual antibodies to help us get to zero. One of the most impressive is a program called AMP. And tonight, you are going to be treated to the swag of Amped Up, who is going to show us, maybe this is a way that I can help us get to zero. Now, I'm a mother that's not gonna lie to you. Some of us are living with this disease every day. Some of us here tonight are infected with HIV. But guess what though? It is no longer the death sentence that it used to be. And that's because the veneration of people like treatment as prevention, who have educate, who's a warrior that can show us just because you are infected with HIV does not mean you have to die. This is not a pipe dream, can get to zero. Dare I say, we must get to zero. And we can make it if we try. Tonight, this team is going to show you 5 show-enough ways that we can get to zero. And I'm going to do what I do every day. I'm going to go and perch and watch over you and watch over my children as they share with you their hearts and how they help us get to zero. But then I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you to think about, what are my gifts? What are my strengths? What are my abilities? What are my talents? How can I help us get to zero? Because we can do it if we try.
Zero, we gotta get to zero. We need to get to zero. We can make it if we try. Zero, we gotta get to zero. We need to get to zero. We can make it if we try. Oh, zero. We gotta get to zero. We need to get to zero. We can make it if we try. HIV and AIDS. We thought that it was a gay white man's disease. Bati boy is what they call him in Jamaica. Now that's where my family is from. And we had no idea that AIDS could happen to my family. We did not have a clue that AIDS could happen to my uncle. He wasn't gay. He wasn't on drugs. He was just quite promiscuous. He had 4 children, and he had a lot of women. Like I can't even count on 2 hands how many women he had. I was 17 years old when my uncle came to the family, and he let us know that he had AIDS. He had AIDS. The only thing that I could think about was that my favorite uncle was about to die and from AIDS. He was only 43 years old and he was about to die. It was September 1st, 2009, when I got a telephone call, and the voice on the other end of the phone let me know that Uncle Mark had died. Uncle Mark died. What did it mean? He died? Whatever feelings that I felt in that moment, I knew that I had to suck it up and be there for my family because I was that strong person and they needed a leaning post. So I was that support for my family. It was 4 days before my 18th birthday when he died. And at 17, I didn't really quite know how to be support, but I know that's what I had to be. And that support transcended to me becoming a volunteer for an HIV organization in Nashville, where I was able to become that voice of support for other people who was dealing with HIV like I was. I wanted to be there to support them, to let them know that as dark as it may have seemed, as long as we're together and we're logging arms with one another, that it's not as bad as it seems. And I know that the statistic says that 1 in 2 black men who have sex with men will become HIV positive in their lifetimes, but I know that when we use all the tools that we have at our disposal, we can definitely get to 0, and we can get to an AIDS-free generation when we use our tools. I just need people who will be like me and be that voice of support for our community and for our brothers and our sisters and our cousins and whoever. Be that voice of support for one another. If we don't have support, then we don't have anything. So I encourage you, I implore you to be that voice of support for somebody in your life. So that's all I have for you.
Now, I don't know if you can see all the way in the back. I'm pretty blind myself. But my shirt says rubber lover. So when I say rubber, you say lover. Rubber. Rubber. No, that does not mean we're changing tires after this. I'm not a sponsor for Michelin Man or Firestone. Nope. I'm going to tell you how I became an advocate, the rubber lover. It was a hot summer day. I know our stories sound like it, but this is a real life situation. It was hot. It was summertime. There was a grand opening for a friend of mine's barbershop. There were hot dogs. There was cotton candy. There were nappy-headed kids. It was the place to be. I noticed that there was a booth of attractive women sitting at a table, and no one went over there. I was like, this weird. Pretty people usually attract stuff, so I'm gonna go be nosy. I've been nosy my whole life. I can read lips from a mile away. So I went over there. I was like, so, it's dry over here. What's going on? They were like, oh, this is the HIV testing table. Curiosity always kills the cat. Let me tell you that. So she was like, would you like an HIV test? I was like, oh, yeah. Yes, I do. said yes. And so she swabbed my mouth, and I waited. And it seemed like the longest wait of my life. I began to play things in my head, choices I had made. See, I love God. You don't love God? Say if you know it. All right. So church people and society told me, being a lesbian wasn't a part of the plan. So they were like, if you see Dick run with Jane, catch that in the spirit, you'll be changed or delivered. And so I was like, well, you know how sometimes you go try on clothes and the first time you try the pants on, you didn't eat, so they fit perfectly, but then you eat and you try the pants on and it didn't go that way anymore. So I decided, well, when I see Dick run with Jane, I probably shouldn't use no protection. That's the only way I'm gonna know if I really like it. Well, let me tell you, that didn't work, because I tried. I want my money back. Some stuff you just gotta find out on your own, okay, guys? So yeah, I did that. That didn't work. And then as I came into knowing who I was, my sexuality, I began to date really attractive women. And they would say things like, I'm not really gay, but I like you. I don't know what that means, but I just seemed to always be what was on the menu, and they were fine with that, so whatever. But I noticed when we would break up, they would be with men, literally, like they would be pregnant. And I'd be like, well, girl. So that led me to think, well, if I didn't know that that's what she was into, what if the person that she was with was into something else and we all just don't know together? So y'all, this time that I'm waiting on my results to come back to find out whether or not I had HIV was stressful. I was like, well, when you give my results back, pull me to the side, because I don't know my reaction and I don't know what you finna say. So she said, fine, I will. So time went on. She finally came over there to me. She pulled me to the side like I asked her to. Appreciate that, sir. She said, your results came back and it's negative. And I was like, so negative still means no, right? Because your countenance is sad. She said, yeah, it's negative. You don't have. I was like, well, give me a hug, because you sad. You are sad. But what she didn't realize is she gave me a second chance at life, right? Because now that I know better, I can do better. And I figured out why people weren't going to that table, right? Everybody say fear. No one went to that table because they were fearful of what they could have gotten back. I was scared, nervous as a hooker in church, scared. I was like, Lord, Sunday, I'm going to be on the altar, because it could have been me, huh? But the truth of the matter is people die from lack of knowledge. And so now that technology has evolved and grown, we can get pizza online, we can get Uber Eats to drop us off a McPick too. Huh? Ba-da-ba-ba, all right? Yes. We have evolved. There aren't any more excuses. You get my point. They have male condoms, and get this, female condoms. Let's give it up for the female condoms. So I'm going to take a quote from Brother Obama, and ladies, when he says, no, we can't, you say, oh, brother, yes, we can. No, I think they need to do a little bit more work on the anatomy part of it, but there aren't any more excuses. We have PrEP. We have treatment as prevention. We have a voice that says you're not a leper just because you contract this disease. There aren't any more excuses, y'all. So let's come together, have that scary conversation, and reach one and teach one. Thank you.
Snap your fingers like this.
We got to get to zero. We got to get to zero. zero. We've got to get to 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 zero.
We can make it if we try. 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 I was tired now. My name is Preppy, and I represent a once daily pill that is more than 90% effective in preventing HIV transmission if taken effectively. But here's my story. It was spring of 2011, and I had just started school at the University of Southern Mississippi. Southern Miss to the top, go Eagles. That was our thing. We celebrated that way. And it was the first couple of days, and I was getting my life. So much so that I just happened to run into Mr. Track Star. Honey, he ran right through my heart. So I tell you, honey, he was fine. He was lean, full of muscle. My type of man. At the time it was. I done changed now. Don't go tell nobody that. Take that up out of here and go tell nobody that lie. But the ironic thing is that running into him led to him asking me to hang out with him. And you know me, a little sissy. Yep. Yep, I'm coming. And so we ended up hanging out. And I ended up contracting chlamydia. I went to see my nurse practitioner because I couldn't go to know any about it. You know how people are nowadays. You go to the health department, they think you got something anyway, and everywhere else. So I went to my private nurse practitioner. She diagnosed me with chlamydia and gave me a shot in the butt, the one that hurt a couple days after that, a little sore. I put it right in that muscle, right there, the muscle right there. And I left, and 2 weeks later, my dumb self, you thought I would have learned the first time, went back and had sex with that man again. And guess what happened? Say that again. Say that again. Not once, but how many times? Not once, but how many times? 2 times. 2 times for you. I contracted chlamydia 2 times. It was the most disappointing and embarrassing thing having to walk right back into that nurse practitioner's office and for her to diagnose me once again with chlamydia. But this time, the experience was just a little different. She was disappointed. She said, you as a young black gay man, son, you must protect yourself. And I thought to myself, girl, that sounds real good, but girl, who told you I was gay? I didn't check no box when I walked up in this room. You making assumptions and judgments. You not culturally competent. You know, us gays, we like culturally competent physicians and clinicians and stuff like that. Want nobody to judge us. Got a little twisting our hip under the flicking our wrist and people get to saying something. So, you know, I wasn't really offended, but it was what it was. But the most important thing that I got from that is that she was able to educate me and let me know that people that look like me, my African-American gay black men, were disproportionately affected by HIV. And I didn't even know it because where I went to school and the state that I lived in, Mississippi, highest teen pregnancy, highest STI rates. They didn't teach us that because religion was more important than my life. That shows you how much value my life has. But I ain't here to talk about that. That experience changed my life And that's when I became an advocate. I began working at the AIDS Services Coalition in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where I was helping other young black gay men who looked just like me. Some act like me, some didn't. And I saw transformation happening in a small community. But my work became more stagnant as policies changed, as I saw the stigma still stuck in people's brain when talking about issues like sexual health. It's hard to get people to say sex in public. And I'm saying it in a church right now. Get that. But even after all of that, I found my voice, I found myself, and that was helping other people. So I decided that after my little stint in the Army and they released me on that contract, honey, I didn't get deployed or nothing. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and move somewhere. And I applied for jobs in Atlanta and Houston and Nashville, and I guess you know where I end up, right here. But it was the best decision of my life because each and every day I get to talk about 2 years ago in July when I started prep. I get to talk about how prep gave me hope that tomorrow will be better than today. That's what it's about, people. Each and every day, we have an opportunity to touch lives, impact people, change people. I ask you now, what are you doing to change yourself, your own behaviors, but more importantly, to impact other people's lives? Because we all serve a purpose. But I thank God for StreetWorks giving me that opportunity to change lives right here in Nashville, Tennessee, to talk about my experience with prep. And so as we move forward, I want you to listen to the word of every song that you hear on this stage. I want you to support and touch people and educate people. And for once, do not be afraid to talk about an acronym that's just HIV. Because we're living through it and we're getting better each and every day. And that's gonna help us get to zero HIV transmissions because we can make it if we really try.
Zero. We gotta get to zero. We need to get to zero. We can make it if we try. Oh.
Now y'all know TK is gonna write it, so Dolly Parton has to follow Patti LaBelle. But since he wrote it this way, I don't have a choice, so y'all need to help me out. Put your hands together. Here we go. To zero, need to get to zero. Gotta get to zero, we can make it if we try. Gotta get to zero, need to get to zero. Gotta get to zero, we can make it if we try. Come on, y'all!
Gotta get to zero, need to get to zero.
Get to zero.
Gotta get to zero, we can make it if we try.
Yeah.
Gotta get to zero,
We need to get to zero.
gotta get to zero, we can make it if we try.
Baby country and the cusser. That's what they called me when I came here at the age of 17 to go to Belmont. And no, it was not Belmont College. They had graduated to Belmont University by then. But I was 17, and in 10 days, I'll be 40. All right, 40. It beats the hell out of the alternative. That's what I think. And I don't know if I've ever been at a time in my life where I've felt more full. And I'll tell you one thing for sure, that's the truth that I've learned, and that is that life can dream a bigger dream for you than you can dream for yourself. And the truth is, there's something at work that brought Justin to Nashville. There's something at work that brought me to Black Pride 2 years ago, and I was in the room at the right place at the right time when TK Hampton offered me the opportunity to think a little bit about my privilege. That's truth. It changed my life. Hard. The other truth is, I first learned about HIV on a talk show. Phil Donahue? Right. I was about 8 years old. That's before Miss Winfrey came along, right? And I'm watching this show one day, and Kimberly Bergalis contracted this disease called AIDS, and nobody knew anything about it, and she got it when she went to get her teeth cleaned. I'm 8 years old. It wasn't long after I learned about this little boy named Ryan White, who was about my age. He was a hemophiliac. He had to get blood transfusions to survive, and he contracted the same disease, and he died. So I was terrified. I was mesmerized at the same time. And one day I asked my mom, because who else did I have to ask at 8 years old? Mom, what is AIDS? And you know, sometimes kids will ask you things that you are not ready to answer. And it took her back. It hit her buttons. But she just looked at me and she said, sweetheart, that's something you don't need to worry about. That's something that happens to people who are not like you. I guess the high heels I was wearing at the time weren't enough to indicate that, Mom, have you noticed who's most affected in 1986? But it's interesting because the truth is, things would change, and maybe the most disproportionately affected people would be a little different from me in some ways. 1 in 2 Black men who have sex with men will contract HIV in their lifetime if the trajectories go uninterrupted. But 1 in 11 white MSM. And when there's so many more white people and white men who have sex with men, what in the world could that be about? Could that be about racism? Could that be about a system set up by the privileged to benefit the privileged that somehow and often overlooks those most in need? These are questions that, to be truthful, I had to grow up and learn to think about. A good friend once told me, Vic, you know, you do great work, but your intellect has not yet quite caught up with your heart. You have some things you need to read. You have some conversations you need to have. And fortunately, I'm having them. They're not over. The truth is, now I have this brilliant opportunity to talk to people about the AMP study, this new science that could be a major breakthrough in HIV prevention. And the truth is that as the result of the support of the sponsor and people like the HIV Vaccine Trials Network, we've been able to take the AMP study in Nashville to those who need to know about it the most. We've been able to partner with organizations like Streetworks. We've been able to partner with organizations like Nashville Cares, and we've been able to hopefully enhance the programming that they're already very successfully implementing. And as a sidebar, AMP in Nashville has enrolled at 33% non-Caucasian. To give you some perspective, the most recent study that we did enrolling similar demographics to AMP, 3% non-Caucasian. And I'm not standing up here waving my flag. What I'm doing is saying thank you to the community that has made that happen. And that's why it's my gift, it's my honor to be able to be in this show with these beautiful, talented, passionate, gifted individuals that I also call family. Because the truth is, this is not a problem for black folks to figure out on their own. This is a human family issue. Human family. The truth is, we have a mission. The truth is, we have the tools. We have research. We have all kinds of amazing research happening, not just AMP. Research all over the world. We have condoms. We have PrEP. We have treatment as prevention, which, yes, basically does say if you are in treatment and if you are undetectable, you cannot transmit the virus to a sexual partner. The truth is, we have a mission. The truth is, we need to get to 0 new HIV transmissions by the year 2020. The truth is, that can happen. But it starts with letting go of our judgments. The truth may be that some folks who are most affected are afraid to come out and talk about their sexual identity because they're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of being shunned and devalued. The truth is, we have a mission. The truth is, our work begins and ends with love. Thank you for being here tonight.
Y'all know who time it is? Here I go. Mine is a little gospel because I grew up in church. And this is how we sing my song right here. I said 0,
0,
gotta get
to 0.
Oh,
0,
need to get to 0.
need to get to 0.
I said now 0.
0,
I gotta get to 0.
gotta get to 0.
Oh,
0,
need to get to 0.
need to get to 0.
We can't make if we try.
If we try,
If we try, y'all.
we can. If we try,
Z-E-R-O, 0. Hey, gotta get to 0.
gotta get to 0.
Oh,
0,
need to get to 0.
need to get to 0.
Mighty, y'all.
0,
Hey, gotta get to 0.
gotta get to 0.
Y'all
0,
better sing, yeah.
need to get
Come on.
to 0.
We can if we try.
If we try,
Get it if we try, y'all.
we
I'ma do it
can.
again.
If we try,
Z-E-R-O, 0.
0,
Hey, gotta get to 0.
gotta get to 0.
Oh, 0.
0,
Need to get to 0.
need to get to 0.
Almighty, y'all.
0,
Hey, gotta get to 0.
gotta get to 0.
Oh,
0,
need to get to 0.
need to get to 0.
We can if we try.
We try,
Let it if we try,
we
y'all.
can. If we try.
Hey. said zero.
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 Z-E-R-O. Zero.
Zero.
Not 3, 2, 1, but zero.
Zero.
Zero. Zero.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero. Zero.
Zero.
I'm done, y'all.
Zero.
Hey, we can. If we try. Good God Almighty, y'all.
If we
Hey, Lord. I'm feeling something in here tonight, y'all. Oh, Lord. I feel church right now.
Yes, Lord.
Don't play with me, Michelle. Ain't gonna stop. I'm tired now, for real. Okay, here we go, y'all. Y'all ain't got no rag? Anybody got no rag up in here? Thank you. Y'all give it up to my cousin, Felicia. Thank you. I am treatment as prevention. On tomorrow, October the 13th, I will celebrate 20 years living with HIV. It was October the 13th, 1997. And at the time, I was at the University of Montevallo in Alabama. But it was fall break, and I came home to hang out for about a week, and it was on a Monday. My mother had taken the day off, and me and her decided to hang out, ride around, do some stuff. We got some lunch, came back to the house, and we were sitting at the kitchen table, and the phone rang. At the time, we had a house phone. It was 1997.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Don't be brand new. So the phone rang, and I picked it up, and I said, "Can I please speak to a Mr. T.K. Hampton?" I said, "This is T.K." The lady said, "Did you try and give blood at the Red Cross Blood Drive somewhere in the University of Montevallo?" I said, "Yes, I did." She said, "Well, I'm sorry, but we can't use your blood. It came back HIV positive." I said, "Hello?" She said, "Sir, did you hear me?" I said, "Yeah, what you said?" She said, "I'm sorry, sir, but we can't use your blood because it came back HIV positive." I said, "Well, what you want me to do about it?" She said, "I'm gonna need you to come down to the Columbia Health Department." I said, "I'm not coming down there, girl." She said, "Well, sir, I'm here to tell you that if you're not down here, by the end of the day, we will send the police out to pick you up." I said, "Well, all right, girl, I'm on my way. I'll talk to you later." Ain't gonna catch me slipping. Here we go. So I hung up the phone, and my mother looked at me and she said, "Boy, who's that on the phone?" And before I could even really think, I said, "Mama, that was the health department. They just said I had AIDS." She said, "What?" I said, "That was the health department." She said, "Boy, I heard you. What did they say?" I said, "They said I have AIDS." She said, "Well, what they want you to do?" I said, "They want me to come down to the health department, and if I'm not down there by the end of the day, that they were gonna send the police to come get me." She said, "Well, okay, well, let's get the hell up out of here." I said, "Mom, I'm not going nowhere." She said, "Why not, boy?" I said, "Because HIV ends in AIDS, and AIDS ends in death." Mother looked at me and she said,
You don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning, troubles they won't last always. will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand, no matter what may come my way. My life is in your hands. With Jesus I can take it. With him I know I can stand. No matter what may come my way. No matter what may come my way. My life is in your hands. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. Oh.
I did make it. I trusted my mother, and I did make it. I made it through cocaine addiction. I made it through a car wreck. I made it through church hurt. I made it through all of that. But the one thing I didn't think I was gonna make it through, it was January the 12th. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning and my phone was vibrating. Because I was drunk that night, I didn't even answer it. But then my house phone started ringing. My roommate picked it up, and I heard him in the other room, and he said, "We're on our way down there." I jumped up, I went into his room. I got it. And he said, "That was your niece." She said, "Something wrong with your mama." I said, "Okay." So I picked up my phone and I called her and she said, "You got to get down here. Something wrong with Granny." So I threw my clothes on. I told my roommate, I said, "You got to ride with me." So we got in the car and we drove down 65 South, headed to Columbia. And so before I could even get off the Columbia exit, my sister Sonia called me. Before I can even think about it, I picked up the phone and I said, "Is Mama dead?" She said, "I'm sorry, Bub, but she didn't make it." I said, "What did you mean she didn't make it?" She wasn't even sick, y'all. We had just gotten off the phone. So I drove on down there. I got to the hospital. I walked in. I asked the nurse, I said, "Hey, do you have a Jeanette Perkins?" She said, "Yeah, they're all in the back. The family's in the back." So I went to the back. As I was walking down this hall, my sisters were screaming. I said, "Darn." I just opened up the door, and they were just crying, and I sat there still in disbelief. Like, 'cause I gotta see this. I hear y'all talking, but I gotta see this. And about that time, the nurse knocked on the door. She said, "You can come see her now. We cleaned her up." And I looked at my sisters and I said, "No, I'm going first." So I walked down the hall. I got to the door. I pushed it open. What happened? That's all I could ask. Like, what happened? I'm 41 years old. And And I still feel like a child in a grocery store who can't find their mama. So you have your good days and you have bad days. Because you know how to live your life with your mother. But you don't know how to live it without her. But you find a new way. So one day, I was on Facebook, and I was having a rough day. I tell this story because after my mama died, I just wanted to give up. I said, forget them pills. I don't want to take them no more. And whatever happens, happens. Because she was the person who was there for me. Okay? So now let me find a new way to heal. So I scroll down Facebook and Michelle and this young man who's playing the piano and Nate, they was on there and they wrote a song and it's called I Smile. And have you ever had something in your life that saved your life and you knew it was it? It saved my life. And how I knew it was God or energy or the universe, whatever you call it, because Michelle just lost her mother a month ago. And guess what she got to do? She got to stand up here and be the mother energy for me. So, go ahead, Michelle.
I've had my share of ups and downs, times when there was no one around. You came along and rescued me. I'm so glad you came and set me free. 'Cause every time I smile, I always think of you and all that you do. 'Cause every time I smile, always think of you and all that you do. In all you do, always come through. I smile because of you. In all you do, always come through. I smile because of you. And all you do, always come through. Just to know I smile, I belong to you. I smile to know your love and all you do for me is true. Always come through. I smile, I smile. I remember your mama and all that you do. who's ever lost anybody, they're looking down on us. Because every time I smile, always think of you and all that you do. Because my smile is for you. Come on, clap it up. Come on. Feel the spirit in this place. Hey, I smile. I smile because of you. Through every heartache, through every tear, through every pain. It was nobody that kept me like you, Lord. Oh, I smile because of you.
Put your hands together.
Hey, TK, because I need thee. Oh, I need thee. Every hour, I need thee. Oh, bless. I need you to bless, Lord. I need you to bless, Lord. Be now my Savior.
All right. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Get it out. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hallelujah. Come on and bless him. I come. I come to thee. Yeah. Yes, Lord. You might as well bless him. Come on and lift your hands and give him glory. Magnify the Lord with me. Hey!
Amen. All right. All right. All right. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Come on. Listen. Nashville in Harmony, do not be nervous. Come right up here into that first. They was like, are we about to do the holy dance? Hey, Lord.
Woo!
Let's go here. I look around you at this moment. Look at us now. We're at a moment where we can get to 0. It's that time. Look in your programs. There's the rally call. That's what we're about to sing, you guys. I want to try something, okay? For those of you who can, step outside of this. Stand up. Let's do this together. Rise up. If you can stand up, stand up. And I'm gonna need, there you go, sis. There you go, there you go. Make you a 0 come on around here. Come on, no, you good. You just grab some hands. Come on around. Grab a hand. Let's make one big 0. Y'all stay where y'all are. You look beautiful. Stay where you all are. Come on, on this side, grab your hand, grab a neighbor hand and make a 0. From the back of the place all the way around, just grab a hand. Nashville in harmony, don't you move. Nashville in harmony, you stay where you are. Come on up stage. Y'all come up here with us. Y'all come up here with us. Come up here with us. Nashville in harmony, come up with us. Y'all, my sister done went in. She can't even take it no more. Go up there. Go on up there. Come on, Nashville in harmony. Y'all go up there. Y'all keep stretching that circle around. This is what it's about. It's about a collaborative effort. It's about us all coming together. Everybody here? Here we go. Here we go. The world today, sing. The world today is a place where people say that the odds are against us. That the odds are against us. We won't last. We won't last. Yeah, that's good. The mountains are high. The mountains high. Come on, sis, but I have the strength to climb. We must not stop. We must not stop. We must fight. We must fight. Till we get to 0. We gotta get. We gotta get to 0. We need to get to 0. You got a microphone? We can make it if we try. I see you singing that. Come on, sing, y'all. 0. You trying to sing? We gotta get to 0. We need to get to 0. We can make it if we try. Listen, y'all. The outcome isn't based off of statistics. It's based off of us believing that we can change the world. Statistics go. Statistics show us signs of rise and slow decline. But men and women, boys and girls, I see you, sisters. They know the task. Won't end. We can change the world, y'all sing it. We can change the world if we try. If we try. Come on, 3 parts. Sing. 0. We gotta get to 0. Yeah. We need to get to 0. We can make it if we try. We can make it. Here we go, y'all. Come on, say ooh. Seems like it's getting worse, but we say it's getting better. And even though the battle's hard, we still stand together. Come on, sing it. We know we cannot change if only we believe that it can be done. One by one. 0. We gotta get to 0. Come on, say 0. 0. We can make it if we try. Come on, everybody say 0. 0. We gotta get to 0. I love it. Yeah. We can make it if we try. One more time. Cut the music. Come on, everybody sing 0. Sing, everybody say 0. We gotta get to 0. Y'all sound so good. We need to get to 0. We can make it. We can make it if we try. Everybody sing, y'all.
We gotta get to zero. We can make it if we try.
Zero. Zero. If you're feeling this, I want to hear zero. Was this incredible? Did you hear these testimonies? Did you hear these stories and these insights? Now, I told you I was going to ask you to think about, how can I help us get to zero? Did y'all think about it? Who thought about it? If you raise your hand, I'll walk to you now. Who thought about how they can use their talents to get to zero? Very quickly, very, very quickly, like 400 words or less. How can you help us get to zero?
I got a big mouth and I got a lot of friends who don't know what's up.
What's up? We thank you. Who else has talked about how they can help us get to zero? Now, I will come to you, educated, because I know who you are. How can you help us get to zero?
By continuing to advocate.
And how do you advocate?
Get out there and open your mouth.
That's what's up. Can we give them a hand now? I want to feel some zero energy in the house. This was an incredible display this evening. I hear it. Can y'all clap enough and holler enough so I can feel it? Did anybody over here think about how y'all can help us get to zero? Do we have anybody on this side? I'm just gonna walk to you. What kind of gifts do you have that can help us get to zero?
Well, because I know you personally, I would love to say that just to be a support and also be a listening ear to those who have got up there and was just so brave to tell their testimonies. You have to have a certain level of respect for that. So it should allow you to have a listening ear and to want to help.
All right, can we give her a hand? Listening, non-judgmental ear, advocacy. I want each of you to think about tonight, how can you help us get to zero HIV transmissions by 2020? Do you want to be a voice of support? Do you want to participate in a vaccine trial? If you hear someone say something a little funky about HIV, would you be willing to step up and help us address the stigma, right? Particularly, I'm gonna say it now, in our churches, particularly our black churches. Can we not do the gossip, girl, where you know she got, girl, where you know he got? Can you do your part to help us get to zero HIV transmissions by 2020? Now, before you respond, I'm going to invite you to fellowship with us at a reception, but only if you shake the rafters in this place to convince each other that we can indeed get to zero HIV transmissions by the year 2020. 1, 2, 3. More! 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 Yeah! Yeah!
Guys, thank you all. Thank you, everybody. Excuse me.
I need some gifts, please, Keith.
Oh, okay.
Because it's our time to thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And
Thank you.
thank you, babe.
Y'all can sit down. Y'all can sit down.
Barbara, help
Because
me.
we're
Where's
about to get up
Barbara
out of here. Like,
And go eat.
I need a drink.
In fellowship.
Barbara, where's Barbara?
Come on, Barbara. Hurry up so we can get up out of here. Y'all can, come on. So I can go home.
Barbara.
I'm thirsty.
Where did she go? Okay.
I'll take blue. That's my favorite color, unless you want me to have something differently. While they're doing all that, I want to say thank you, Greg Kaysen, for Inspired Concepts and
Don Schlosser, would you please come back up from Nashville in Harmony? We have one for
Sean.
you too.
There you go. Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Stay right there, baby. Don't move.
Thank you to our directors. Nate Bean, musical director. Yeah. Don Schlosser, Nashville in Harmony. And the fabulous TK Hampton, who started it all. Yes.
And Michelle Prather.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you,
Michelle
Michelle.
Prather. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There is a reception if you walk out this door here. Keep going straight. They have some food and some little gifts. We can talk and have all that great thing. I love you guys. Thank you. Be safe getting home. Happy Pride. Happy Nashville Black Pride. Thank you, Phil Capucci. He's the president of Nashville Pride. Thank you, Phil Capucci. Thank you to my family who showed up on the first 2 rows. Thank you to my man. Thank you to everybody else. Thank you. I appreciate it. Damn. You look like what?